really appreciate your blessings. You don't really understand how much life really means until you stuck up in a situation like this. You don't really appreciate life until you actually just sitting up in a cell, just like this, looking, reflecting on your life, or how shit could have been. When you living in a fucking restroom. This is a motherfucking prison cell, man. You don't really appreciate life until you in a situation like this where your back is to the wall and you start telling people you want to change. Why take this type of motherfucking environment for you to understand that there's better for you? Your parents tell you this continuously, but like kids and everything that we do in our life, man, we gotta experience it for ourselves. You can't tell me shit.
My name is Tongan Tupac. Long Beach, feel me? Born and raised until incarceration. One day at a time, trying to figure out a way out the trenches, you know?
Okay. So you're incarcerated right now. How long you've been down for?
Been down since 2005, so 16 years. This is my 16th year right here.
Okay.
Long, too long.
So tell us, what was that like, growing up as a youth out there in Long Beach for you, as a young Tongan in America and Long Beach? Tell us what that was like for you.
Growing up as a youth in Long Beach, it was more, you had a lot of fun. Kids just being kids, you don't really know too much of anything. Just kicking it with your family and cousins until you get a little bit older and start, hanging around a certain crew that you find solace in. Some of these people take you in, band up,
Yeah.
make do with what you got. So it was more for it was a good time growing up. I remember the good times, and I do remember the bad times. We did grow up with a lot of nonsense as far as what you see growing up as a child with the people seeing the normal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Normal to us, but that all take a toll on you later on down the line. So it's either make or break you. So these situations either they build you or they break you. So just got to make do with what you got.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this strong. Some people grow up and never have a chance. Try to make the chance into something, even though I'm in the trenches,
Right. Was the community that you grew up in, was there a lot of Tongan families there?
It wasn't like as much as it's a lot of us, but not to everybody else, ain't too many of us. But it was a couple of us, a couple families that stayed down the street, but not we all went to the same church. We went to a church in Lenox, actually. My family growing up, and then most of the Tongans that we knew in Long Beach are like Mormons. So we used to, there was a gang of us that used to just see each other. We used to go to little church functions. But as far as it was a handful of us, but I wouldn't say it was a lot. But we did have several families that linked up to call ourselves family.
Right. So you said it was pretty much church going families and whatnot. Yeah. So you had a pretty decent childhood, good upbringing, good family morals and everything. But it's obvious that, of course, you got involved in some things. So can you tell us a little bit about what happened with you in your life? Where did it take a turn?
Growing up in my house, my pastor's, he used to drink a lot. So he used to come back in with anger and frustration, used to take it out on us as kids, growing up in that environment. You tend to see things that you ain't supposed to see at that age. So as a kid, I was seeing grown up stuff happening, and it was too common. From the times of being kicked out of the house when your pops go out getting drunk, come back and just be angry for no reason. You never feel that type of affection that you get at the house because you're always constantly being chased away. So as a kid, that takes a toll on you. So you get older and older, you start hanging around a group of guys that always take you in when you have nowhere to go. So they're like, man, come stay with us. Come stay over here with us. You don't feel that over there. I don't feel wanted over here. I don't feel loved right here. So let me go find comfort right here. And the way they was teaching you was you start doing all kind of crazy stuff and you get glorified for doing that. So they glorify you for doing all the shit that's negative. Mm-hmm. And it's really, you don't know at the time that it's wrong. So you just like that feeling of being respected. Because that's the only way you feel like you can get love is to run with this group because you ain't getting it at home,
Mm-hmm.
Every time you come home, you get cussed out. Yeah, that's my pops was kind of like I love him. Me and him, we good now, but when we was growing up, we really didn't have too much of a relationship. It was more for him talking at us than talking to us, you know. So he
Right.
was always lead. He would like teach by his example. He'll show you something, and it's either pick it up or you don't. But can't every kid don't learn the same way. You can't learn that way. You got to actually sit certain people down and talk to them. Like
Right.
most of our parents is, as Tongans growing up, it was more do this or this is gonna happen to you. So you basically, if you're not doing what they telling you, whatever you're doing is wrong. You know.
Mm.
So even when you feel like you do something right, you never feel that type of affection. Only from my mom, always be there for you. You know. So when you get a little older, start hanging around this crowd, start doing certain things, and then that's where it ultimately start. You know, because at some point in time in your life, you start, you pick up a gun or start doing like robbing people. And for example, like they ask you, like, at what point in time in your life did you feel like it was all right for you to take this person's possessions? What made you feel like that was all right to do that? Or when some of the young homies get locked up for killing someone, it's like, at what point in time did you feel like it was all right for you to take someone's life? And where did that start from? All of that starts as kids growing up. Our environment that we come up in. The neighborhood is good. The environment you grow up in is like a gun. The shit you go through, it's like bullets that load the gun, right? Your reaction to all of this is what pulls the trigger. So ultimately, a lot of these people end up in here or don't make it. But at the same time, I know some people that grew up the same way I did and they're doing good. They actually made it, but some others never have a chance. They've always been on the downside. You can always try to help someone, but sometimes some people never had a chance. Always been on the bottom to figure it out. A lot of people don't have that choice to have the people around. When I was growing up, we didn't have a certain or a person that used to tell us, hey man, let's do this and do that. We kind of grew up to be the older homies for my generation. We learned along the way, especially with me being incarcerated during time with a gang of older Tongans, just anybody that had game, I would try to surround myself with them to learn, What was the problem? They'll teach you, say, well, what made you do that? Because they, even when you go to board or go see they'll ask you, why did you do this? Why did you rob this dude? They'll be like, oh, because I needed some money. We want you to go back. Like, what was the first time? What made you think that from the jump? To have you thinking that way when you get older. So as you get older, you start to see a lot of this stuff, start putting the layers of the onion, you start to understand why your mindset is the way it is. It's because of a lot of things that you go through growing up. So it's up to you. It's up to us to try to help the next person, not try to recycle the same lifestyle, because this is not him. At first they don't tell you about it. You see homies go to prison, you glorify him like, hey man, that's the big homie. He just got out. What a homie. You're like, damn, I want to go to the pen. And you actually get in here, and it's a whole different lifestyle in here. It's like, prison is a world of its own. It ain't the same. Pretty much just winging it until we have our politics that keep us in order, but all of it is flexible. Every prison is flexible. So
right.
Everything you go through on the street, you gotta just take it like everything that you learn. Because I come across certain people in my life that used to always tell me, hey man, you got potential. Stop doing that. Be like this. But you're like, yeah, whatever. But I used to always think about it. Like now I still think about it like, damn, they was trying to help me. But I took it at the time like they're trying to tell me what to do, But there's a way of communication that is not applied accordingly, because you can't talk to everybody on the same level. Certain people you got to tone it down a little bit. Certain people got to tone it up. So, yeah.
Real talk. It seems like it's always the same, formula, right? We're a product of our environment, not enough communication within the home from the parents to the children, especially with polys,
Yeah.
It's just, it's just how it is. We're raised differently,
Yeah. We raised a little different.
Right. But so you were living out there and seeing all these things going on within your community. You didn't have, OGs that were coming home from the pen telling you, hey man, the penitentiary ain't the place to be. This is where you need to be, out here on the streets, taking care of the fam or whatnot. I wished myself that when I was growing up, I had someone there to talk to me about it. So that's why it's good that we're having this communication now. So while growing up, did you by chance ever get involved with gangs or anything like that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, my homie, we from Tongans for life. T4L. So a lot of us is more like cousins and brothers that grew up together. Joining the gang was more like at that for me. What the definition of being in a gang was at the time was it was more like a family. You know, everybody was more like accepting. If you had nowhere to go, you could lay your head here. You know? If you had no women, we'll find something for you. Like if you ain't got no money to drink, hey, let's go do a beer run. You know, it was more of the vibe. I feel like it was more home being with the homies because I'm pretty sure some of the homies have been going through the same thing too. So when you get together and band up and be like, man, we're gonna be, this is the bros. This is how we do it. We're gonna go from there. But it was always more of like a family feeling. It was a family vibe for me being set because it was fun, at the time until it started leading up to getting to certain situations that turned it into something else. But when it first started, like how it was cool, but then later on down the line, it started changing. You start seeing the change. You don't want to change. You like to see something happen different. You can't help but to blame yourself when certain situations happen and people die. You start blaming yourself. Like, damn, I was a part of this once upon a time, and I can't help but feel responsible for this happening because my situation, personally, my mother was killed, right? Along the lines of this being, so-called gangbanging, people start, the lines are blurred when it comes to, levels of respect or the line of saying people just like, it overextend what they're supposed to do. Before you catch somebody on the street, now it's like, it's different. At the time, it was different. Like now it's slowed down a lot. And I love what it's come to now because you got a lot more people who try to utilize the platform, especially on social media, which is a big reason why I try to do what I do and try to show a different way. Because if you feel like this is the route and you see what I'm doing, I'm telling you this ain't it, you end up in here. And I guess you're just gonna be cleaning the cell from here on out when you move up in here, So it just takes it took a turn for worse. Nobody thought it was gonna be how it is right now, as opposed to what it started as. But one thing always leads to another. But I think a lot of that turns to lack of communication. You have the wrong people in position to do the talking, and they don't know how to talk either. Communication is key, but comprehension is everything. Because we have people that know how to speak too, but they don't know how to really talk to certain people. Like people like to speak from different levels of anger. You can't see past whatever happens, so you want to keep that going. It ain't fair to the youth because they got to grow up and inherit this beef that you started. A lot of these kids got to grow up and hate the same people you hate, for whatever reason you started. They don't deserve that. So the best thing you can do is give them a chance by showing them this way. That's the best. That's the best thing I got going right now. But what I try to do, preach to my son, he's one of the kids. But, just hope for the best, expect the worst.
Right. So you said how long you been down again?
16 years. 2005. 16 years. Man.
So how old were you when you got incarcerated?
I was 20. I was turning 21 that year, man. I used to have nice, silky, long hair, man. This prison shit took my hair from me. This shit gone right now, man. You feel me?
Yeah.
I miss my hair, man. But I get a little upset because my dad and my brothers, they all still got their hair. I'm like, man, why my shit? Why I look like this? It's time to do it to you.
Yeah. So you basically grew up in there, man.
I'm 36. Yeah, most of my life, half life is being in here, being incarcerated.
Did you ever do any juvenile hall time or CYA time?
I've never been a juvie. I ain't never been a CYA. This is my first prison term.
Wow.
I got locked up twice. Yeah. First time I got locked up was in 2002 for a robbery. Got back out. And then I came back in for this. This was an attempt. Chopped it down to an assault with a deadly weapon. And in Long Beach, I know you know about the system. Long Beach Court, they whoop everybody that come up in there. You could be shot somebody in the thigh. That's it. You need a homie that's doing life for that. I'm like, damn, you just hit him in the leg one time. That's the same with a lot of other people's situations, but the system is not fair. I think it's built for us to fail. I feel like, of course, I'm always saying that. I think they gave me too much time because they did. I met a dude that did the same exact shit I did. He went home 10 years ago. I used to be like, ain't this a bitch?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because you're actually doing more time than some people do for actually killing somebody.
I swear to God, this shit crazy.
Yeah, man.
You always look at it like I said, like certain people, they'll never have a chance. I felt like at that like with so much time, you know, the judge will like to fill your head up. When you're young and you're important, they'll tell you like stupid stuff like, oh, you're young, you can do this time. You know, This is different. This is every day. Every day is a stress. Like this is different. Like you know, the thing about being in here is it's more like ain't nothing bad can happen to us besides what we know can happen. Either you're gonna go out there and get into it with another race or something. That's the worst that can happen. Get into it, police run up on you. You know, the normal stuff. Calling your family to find out certain, you know, oh man, this person no longer here, or this person no longer here. You can't be here for these things. That's what it really hurts. You know, it's not being able to protect the ones you love the most. You know.
Right. What you know, being in prison this long, what do you miss the most about the streets and wish you could have, you know, and that you think a lot of us out here in the streets take for granted?
I think we don't appreciate. Appreciation for the people that was there, because I had a lot of good people around me to try to help me, you know, and I overlooked that. You know, my wife been down with me this whole time. I didn't appreciate her enough at the time she was pregnant. I didn't appreciate her at the time enough to say, hey man, this should change your life. But at the time it was wild. So it was more like, damn, it's either I start doing this, take care of this, but this is gonna happen to them. You always feel like you're the reason why something happened. If you weren't there, you could fix it. But I think the main thing that I would say is more for appreciation, listening. At the time, we didn't really have to homies that was the older homies that would talk to you like that. I had maybe like one or two that weren't from the set, but just older individuals in general that used to come and talk to me about, hey man, you know, I think you should be doing this because you're good at this, man. You should leave this alone. I used to ignore a lot of signs like this. There's a lot of signs that are presented to you before it go bad. Like you get locked up and you sit there and you start thinking like, damn, that's why. Oh, damn, that's why. Because I believe like everything is tied in. Universe is one. The universe will talk to you. They say follow that gut. That's real. That means something. Like really follow your gut. Really follow your gut. But I think you just gotta don't ignore the signs when it's in front of you.
That's interesting you said that, because I've always said that myself. You know, I've always had some kind of deja vu or something like that would happen to me before I get locked up. So now when I have deja vus, I kind of just sit my ass still. I don't
Make
get
you
involved
think,
in
you know?
Yep. Because it's exactly like you said, you know, recognize the signs, man. You know, everything's
They're
connected.
for you.
Yep.
That's free. The signs are free, man. The price, this is the price to pay, you know? Signs are free. You're ignoring something that's free and you're gonna pay a big price for ignoring the signs, and when you get locked up, you're gonna start regretting. I met a lot of people that say, you know, I made my choices. I live with my decision. I did what I did, but at the same time, I don't think anybody is really happy with having to sit in the box all day and day with another individual. Right. They put you in a cell. You know, a lot of us is not small up in here. You might be in a cell with a homie about 500 pounds. He got the bottom of. He's snoring all night. You can't even sleep. You know, you might have to tap him a couple times. Hey. He say, roll over to the other side. It's different. Like they force you to, they put you in this little ass box, and you got to make do with what you got, man. It's just, man, it's terrible, man.
Can we
one day at a time? Hopefully get better.
Can you show us a look real quick?
I'll flip this. Whatever it is. Yeah.
Yep.
There he is.
The box.
That's the box.
Man.
This how bad it is. Look, it's so hot up in here. I got the curtain around the vent to blow the air straight at me. I'm still in the air from my celly right now because it's hot as a bitch.
Man, see, that's what I'm talking about. You just stuck in the bathroom, you know, with someone else.
In the bathroom, man.
Yep.
It's crazy because, you know, like we talked before this, he was like, man, you know, what if you ran up on and stuff? I get that a lot from him already for basically doing my thing. And I always like to, you know, just to try to stay on the positive side of what I do. I always try to say, you know, man, I'm not doing nothing to hurt nobody. I'm actually being productive with my time with the phone. I mean, when they come and search, you know, they tear the cell up, they disrespect the house. You see shit tearing down curtains. They take your phone, they penalize you. They take away your family visits. They take away your food. They take away all kind of stuff to try to make you seem. They try to take all that time away from you to make you feel like you're an animal.
Right.
You just an inmate. I expect you to act accordingly and respect the rules, but at the same time, when it comes to respecting us, we don't get the same back. So
Right.
I used to. There's certain things that I don't like when the way you get treated. As far as they're treating us, they're gonna hold us accountable for our actions. But it's the stuff you take away from us to keep us away from our family. Talk about rehabilitation, but when it comes to this, it's like you got caught with some dope. Like I don't think it's that serious. Granted, certain people do what they're gonna do, but to each their own on their situation. But in my situation, I ain't doing nothing, being productive with my time. Like I'm locked up, but my mind is free. So I like to be on. I like to have a little piece of freedom. I like to appreciate a little time with my family, get the video chat. What the hell is 15 minutes ain't gonna do it,
Right. You actually have a kid now.
Yeah, 16 now. He been alive as long as I've been locked up.
Right. So how does that feel? How does that feel being a father that's incarcerated right now with a young teenager out there?
Man, I would say that it's hard. It's different, of course, because you can't be there to teach a kid everything that other people are teaching them. So it makes you appreciate the people that help raise your kid more. My parents, his aunties and uncles, cousins, my brothers and sisters, make you appreciate them for stepping in to take care of the son, man. It's because it's different. The best thing I can do is offer advice, do my part. It's up to him to take whatever I try to help him out with as best as I can, So ultimately, he's gonna be influenced by his surroundings.
Right.
He's gonna be influenced by his surroundings, and he just want to hope that he chooses to, makes the best choices in his life. That way he can learn from you. Because I always see people say stuff like on social media about, if your son joined the gang and you failed as a father. I mean, that might work for people out there, but when you're in here, man, at the same time, a lot of these kids that's growing up right now, a couple of homies are locked up. They have kids that are on the streets too, so they're gonna find solace or father figure in people in gangs or older homies that they see out there. So the best thing that I can do is try to, every chance I get, I tap in with my son on my stories. Every time I do something that has something positive or something that he can learn from, I always talk to him and tell him, like, did you see what I did? What did you get from that? Did you learn a little something from that? He's like, yeah. Well, what do you think I meant by that? So it's more for comprehension. He can always hear, like with us, with our parents, they would tell us things and you just be like, yeah, but you ain't really hearing it. You ain't hearing it, but you're not listening. So my thing to try to do differently with him is keep the line of communication open as best as I can, because that's all I have to offer is that, the occasional visits that they do come up with, just try to help them as best as we can. And along the way, you want them to be better than you growing up, and it's hard. It's a little difficult to do it from right here, man, but it's the best. The one thing I can atone to being locked up is all the people that helped raise my son. It was them, the reason why he learned how to do a lot of the things. But for me, when I talked to him a couple of times, because he called himself trying to rap now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, are you trying to rap now? So I told him, let me hear something. I heard a couple of things he said, and I'm like, man, I told you that. Yeah, I taught you that. And he was like, you listen. He's like, yeah, man, I hear what you talk about, man. I'm like, all right, man, I like it. At least ain't talking about no crazy stuff on the raps, But as long as I know that it's being applied and he's learning, and you feel like you're doing your job. But I would say, like, for me, like on Father's Days, those will be the hard days. Birthdays are hard days because you can only do so much, send some money or a card or something from the heart. It might be little to them, to you, but it might be big to them. It's something that, little something to show that, hey, man, even though I'm in here, man, I wish I could be there. This is the best I can do. And I just hope that you grow up to be better, do better than me. So most of the times I do this stuff on Instagram or social media is to help a lot of the kids that I know that don't have no fathers because their daddy dead or their daddy doing time, is to see that they'll tap in with me and be like, what's up, Mom? It's funny because I don't feel old, but every time I talk to them, they be like, what's up, OG? And I be like, man, y'all look older than me, man. What the heck you talking about OG, man? But, so the best thing I can try to do is that's the best thing I can do. So when people say Happy Father's Day to me, I'll be like, yeah, but that's right back to you. Y'all responsible for, the bulk of everything. I do my best on my part. I try to help his mind, so that's the least I can do, especially from being locked up.
You mentioned when you were out you know, your wife was pregnant at the time. Can you tell us, you know, you mentioned signs and things like that, but can you tell us why wasn't that a changing factor in your decision making, knowing that you were about to have a child soon? Because it was the same for me. My child was actually born in a year old, and I still didn't change my ways. So how about you? Why didn't it change you? What was going on with you in your life?
I prioritized the wrong things. You know, that's what it was. I felt like it was important, but it wasn't like, you know, when you grow up, you see a lot of homies having kids at a young age, a lot of them go away, come back. So you don't really look at it like, damn, I'm having a baby, I gotta settle down. It's more like, damn, I'm about to have another baby. You know, oh shit, a baby's on the way. But it's never taught to change your life. You like look at it like, damn, it's another baby, because it's so common to see, you know, women getting pregnant all the time, and you just still see the baby daddy doing the same thing. So you're like, okay, well, shit, they didn't change, you know, so why should I too? But then you know, they would tell you like, hey, you know, you got a baby on the way. You need to start acting this way or start being this way. Why are you being like that? But you invest so much time on the wrong thing that you don't know that what you're doing is actually is selfish. Because most of the time when you get locked up, you're thinking for yourself. You ain't thinking about nobody else till you get locked up. Then you start needing help from everybody around you. Then you start to see that kids actually change your life. In here, they help you be, you know, help you be a better person. Without kids, and I don't know, man. It just be different. So you have to learn along the way. You have to learn the hard way, even though other people tell you how it is. This way we grew up, way I grew up, you have to learn along the way. Like, okay, well, damn, I guess I got to be like this. And you start learning, like, damn, you actually start coming to play with these kids in the visiting room, and they start running up to you. They start hugging on you, grabbing your finger. Then it changes you, like, damn, you can be vulnerable with your family. When you're with your homies, you got to be tough. You want to be, you know, you want to be that guy. I want to be feared. Like, I don't want to be loved. I want to be feared. When you get locked up, them dudes ain't around for you anymore. You're going to be up in there calling your wife or your baby mama or your family to take care of you, because that's who really take care of you at the end of the day. It just be you and everybody else. You just do your time.